The leaders of South Korea and Japan say they will work more closely together to overcome security threats from China and North Korea. Japan's Prime Minister Kishida Fumio is finishing a 2-day trip to Seoul, where he met with South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol. It was the first visit by a Japanese leader in 12 years. The two cited North Korea's increased weapon tests and China's aggression as factors to further security cooperation. Kishida also said that his heart hurts over Japan's actions during its occupation of South Korea, which ended in 1945. Their meeting came just 2 weeks before the G7 summit in Japan. For more on what the two leaders discussed, our reporter Jaime Ocon spoke to Riley Walters, Deputy Director of the Hudson Institute, Japan Chair in Washington, D.C.
How important is this meeting between South Korea's president and Japan's prime minister?
The meeting between Prime Minister Kishida and President Yoon is very significant, I think, not just from a bilateral point of view, but certainly from Washington. Both South Korea and Japan are very close allies and partners of the United States. And officials here have noticed the tension between these two countries for a long time now. And it's really, I think, welcome to see sort of a thawing of this relationship. This meeting is certainly the highest level meeting between South Korea and Japan for quite some time. It definitely seems like there's momentum behind it. Hopefully that can keep that up.
One of the things to come out of the summit that was held on Sunday is the push for a full restoration of diplomatic visits between the two countries. Given the geopolitical threat in the region, how significant is that?
Well, what's really fascinating, I think, is if you look how the governments in both Tokyo and Seoul have been thinking differently about the region. Last year, the Japanese government issued their new national security strategy, which talks a lot more about the threat that China presents. The Yoon administration just released its Indo-Pacific strategy. Again, sort of much more southern looking than just on the Korean Peninsula. They're thinking about the greater Indo-Pacific region, with one eye toward China, with another eye towards North Korea. But they're thinking in a grander scheme. And on one level, it's how can we integrate better with what the United States is thinking about and how we are engaging with other allies and partners in the region for all myriad of issues: economic, security, climate change, so on and so forth.